Assalamu alaikum. Amen Sheikhina Jiwe Pende Shem Hotepu Namaskaram Ashanti Paz Sobrete. Peace be upon you all. So today I'm going to go over chapter 47 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then I'll go over some other stuff as well. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. 1. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. 2. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. 3. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, or Ameshim, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the Father and the Son. 4. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and north and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. 5. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. So this is what they call the Middle East. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt, to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. 7. Their dominion and habitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico, and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. 8. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. And the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaohs of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile, westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. 9. According to all divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family. Because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. 10. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today, without doubt or contradiction. 11. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. 12. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet, Noble Ali, the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. 13. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 14. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet, Noble Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and awful day that is sure to come. 15. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. Every nation. 17. This is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the words Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. Let's see, something stuck out to me. I mean, it all sticks out to me. So we're going to find out what is the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice for all Asiatics. Because verse 14, make sure, yes, says that every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So let's see what that covenant is. What does the Circle 7 say about covenants? We'll get back to that one, but that doesn't say covenant, but that relates. Here we go. Chapter 25 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It states, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Let's pause. Let's go into, can we see it? No. All right. Let's go into the law, all law dictionary, and let's first find out what this word covenant is in law. And if there are any other words surrounding this word that we should take notice of. Look at that. Covenant. All right, hold on. There we go. A covenant. In practice, the name of a common law form of action, ex contractu, which lies for the recovery of damages for breach of a covenant or contract under seal. In the law of contracts, a covenant is an agreement, convention, take notice of that word, convention, or promise of two or more parties by deed in writing. I don't have that over here. But that would be the jurisdictional authority affidavit, the noble Drali, and others together collectively as the board of directors, filed in Cook County, right? It says signed and sealed and delivered by which either of the parties pledges himself to the other that something is either done or shall be done or stipulates for the truth of certain facts. A covenant is an agreement between two or more parties reduced to writing and executed by a sealing and delivery thereof, whereby some of the parties named therein engage, or more of them engages with the other or others, or some of them therein also named, that some act hath or hath not already been done, or for the performance or non-performance of some specified duty. Okay. What is a covenant in law? A covenant implied by law from certain words in a deed which do not express it. We have covenant inherent. A covenant which is conversant about the land and knit to the estate in the land, as that the thing demised shall be quietly enjoyed, shall be kept in reparation, shall not be alien, etc. So, a covenant is a contract. It's like a convention, constitutions. Okay. So now let's see what this uh, holy covenant of the Asiatic nation is that has been placed out into the world for and by Moorish Americans. And let's see if they're honoring it. It says, "Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck." 2. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. 3. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. 4. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. 5. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Look at that. And then I notice that verse 3 of the Asiatic covenant is conducive with, or to, one of the acts. Let me see here. Of course. Let's see here. Okay. Moorish Science Temple of America. The Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. All right? Okay. All right. So we're talking about covenants still. So right. Let me now go to the divine origin of the Asiatic nations. All right. Let me see real quick if I can do this here. Yes. I'm glad. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to turn my face away. Well, I can just stand up briefly. I'll just do that there. All right. So now I'm going to read the divine origin of the Asiatic nations. Oh, wait a minute. All right, we don't want. There we go. There we go. All right. It says, 1. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. So this Holy Quran of Mecca that Noble Drew Ali is referencing is the Holy Quran of the Sahab, the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. 2. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moorish, who were ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. 3. The Egyptians, who were the Hamathites and of a direct descendant of Mizraim. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese, and Chinese. Oh, I'm all in the picture. Didn't even notice that. 4. The Hindus of India. Check, make sure I don't get my nose all in there. Okay, the Hindus of India. The descendants, listen, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites of the land of Canaan. Okay? So, we have the Moorish, who were the Moabites, the Egyptians, who were the Hamathites, along with the Arabians, and the Hindus, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites. So, this is at North Africa and Eurasia that is being expressed here. It says 5. The Asiatic nations of North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans of North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America. 6. Colombiano, Nicaraguan, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. 7. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning with Muhammad I, the founding of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. Okay? And so next, Islam, peace for the love, for all the love. And so now I'm going to draw up, yes. Now I'm going to bring reference to Okay. So we see here, it says Dr. Abdul Hamid Suleiman, a native of Arabia, said to have been the high priest at Mecca for several years, has inaugurated a movement for spreading Mohammedanism among the Negroes of the United States. Muslim groups have been started, one of them in Newark, where a temple has been established, wink wink. The Mohammedans in New York, let me see, hope to construct a mosque here, a mosque there, yep, a mosque here. Dr. Suleiman, who lives at 143 West 130th Street, says he is bringing into closer religious harmony the Negro, the Turkish, and the Syrian Muslims. So these are the Moorish, the Moroccan of Africa, the Syrian or the Middle Eastern, the Turkish, or the Asian. Okay? So Noble Drew Ali is showing us, the Moorish Americans, that we are a part of a family here. Not that we're the only ones out here in the wilderness of North America that need a family. We're being told that we are a part of the family. So this Asiatic covenant applies to people of North African, Middle Eastern, and Asian descent. That is the covenant. This is the covenant. Okay? Let's see. I'm going to read to you this. This is from what has been compiled as the oral statements and prophecies of Noble Drew Ali that I'm going to speak about. All right? And it says, number 35, Brother J. Foster Bay of Temple 4 and 25 heard the Holy Prophet say, "We, the Moors, have the blood of every nation flowing through our veins, thereby bringing about a cross spirit. But wait, there's more. Sister M. Patton Bay of Temple number 4 and 25." So these are two individuals in the same temple who must have heard the prophet during the same time. Also said that the Italians have our blood mixed in their veins. That is why they are so mean. Do you hear me? Drew Ali told us that there are Europeans of Moorish descent and who have the same disposition of us as us. Just mean, hard-headed, stiff-necked. All right. And with saying that, Brother J. Foster Bay again says that he heard the prophet say, "We, the Moors, are a hard-headed, stiff-necked, mean set of people that have never did anything except at the point of the sword." Meaning we have delayed our uprising and embracing into American society. And the only time that we really stand for it is when the odds are against us. Reminds me very specifically of these people who come into this Moorish information, attempting to somehow dodge the law. And now all of a sudden you want to be Moorish American because you think that there's some way to get out of a thing. But this Moorish movement is not about getting out of anything that you were supposed to be a part of. This is about getting out of debt, right? This is about getting back into honor. So if you're not being honorable, trying to utilize this information is not going to help, and it's only going to harm other Moorish Americans, Syrian Americans, Egyptian Americans, Arab Americans, Japanese, etc. Okay? Islamism, the raw truth. Islam. Just wish to say the greeting is Islam. The greeting is Islam. I'm not one of the Moors who say Islamism. Islamism is not the greeting. But I appreciate you. Islam, Mohammedanism. Saying Islamism to me is like saying Mohammedanism to me. It's the same thing. But Islam, beloved, namaskaram to you as well. So let's see here. Let's see some other things that Noble Drew Ali has said about the Europeans. Shall we? All right. Here, let me bring that photo back up so that we can see why I'm referencing these Europeans. All right, and turn the camera away from myself. All righty. Okay, so we're looking. We see here. I wish for that to get off my screen now. There we go. All right. We see that white references people having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, so that's Eurasia, and North Africa. Let's see what Noble Drew Ali had to say about these Europeans. Brother J. Blakely Bey. What temple is Blakely Bey from? We don't have a specific temple to Blakely Bey. Yeah, I don't see one. Blakely Bey. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't know what temple Blakely Bey comes from. As of right now, I know I have it in my notes though. All right, I'll look for that. But in the meantime, let's see what Brother Blakely Bey says about the Prophet and what he had to say about Europeans. Okay. Where are we at? Drew Ali said, it states that Brother J. Blakely Bey stated, if the European be just, they would have an Asiatic vice president, and if they had an Asiatic president, they would have a European vice president. Now, we've already seen that with Barack Obama. It says, let me see. It does say when the Europeans go back to Europe, the climate will go back to what it used to be. He stated that before the Europeans came here to the United States, that the bananas were large and that grapes were 4 in hand. Okay, hold on. It says, from Brother T. Booker Bey, Grand National Treasurer, and Emeritus, said that the Holy Prophet stated, the European will not be able to remove all the wealth from the land. After he goes back to Europe, mountains of gold would be revealed to the Moors. J. Blakely Bey states that the Holy Prophet said the European is going to have to pay our people off for the work that they did in slavery and pay off in compounded interest. What does that sound like? Does that sound like banking? Does that sound like redeeming? Does that sound like redemption to you? Sounds like redemption to me. I'm not reading them all because there are some that are not treating to the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that there are Moorish Muslim Europeans, and that not all Europeans accept the Catholic way. And so we must look to those brothers and sisters of the Islamic faith, or just even of the faith in and of itself, whether they be Christian, true Christian, not a Roman Christian, but true Christian, Jew, or whosoever. If they are willing to honor, then honor is good, you know. Let's see here. Right? He speaks about Rome. All right. All right, so it must be scattered here. All right, so you know what? Let's hold on. Hold on. Mm-hmm. We've already seen that. All right, okay, so let's go to yes, the what we call the Moorish literature, or what I've redubbed the Moorish Guide newspaper articles. All right, and we're going to see what Noble Drew Ali has to say about Europeans. You know, just so that we can hear from him and know what he was really getting at, and so we can not be caught up in the hate that is being spewed and the misinformation that is being spewed from Moors who were not in the true ranks of the faithful. All right. Here it goes. So it says, Prophet Drew Ali speaks to the nations. And now you get to see my face again. All right. So now Noble Drew Ali is speaking to the nations, plural. He's talking to the American nations that collectively make up America, the nations, the national citizens. It says, if you have race pride, mind you. Oh, give me. Oh, it won't catch my finger. Up there, at the top of the screen, it says ethnicity and race. And we know that the race of the Moorish Americans is white, right? Okay. If you have race pride and love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement. Then you will have the power to redeem your race. Because you will know who you are and who your forefathers were. Because where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand. Divided we fall. Understood? Come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery, which you have now, need every one of you who think your condition can be better. This is a field open to strong men and women to uplift the nation, the American nation as a whole, and take your place in the affairs of men, morally, socially, and economically. Listen here. This is what Noble Drew Ali states about Europeans particularly. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me Why not you? Let me say that again. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can, and it is by the Moorish divine and national, and that is by the Moorish national divine movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. This is what is meant when it is said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. So this is the prophet speaking, right? All right? Did Drew Ali point the Europeans as the bad guys? No, that's not from that's from a whole other camp. That's from a whole other camp. If you really understand Islam, you will know that all are welcome to be Muslim, and that your nationality, no, your bloodline lineage doesn't really matter. It's secondary. Once you become a Muslim, then you are a part of that nation now, the Muslim nation, irrespective, irregardless, despite any other connection to any land. Your connection is always going to be through an Islamic account of trust in the states and the land. Okay? So there are comments here where Noble Jurali is letting it be known that there will be, Europeans out here acting negatively towards the Moorish Americans, as well as all other individuals. He said that, all nations have succumbed to slavery due to not honoring their creed. So let me now read this here. I'm going to read this here. Let me get me off the cam. Alrighty. This is called To Be Proclaimed at Every Meeting. It states, Islam, that is the greeting. Islam is the greeting. If you were to go to a shriner, place your right hand above your breast, your heart, and say Islam. They will recognize that greeting. That is the password. Islam. All right, that is the sacred word, the sword. It says, I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are now working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so that they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid the divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Ali. Mm. Mm. And then I'm going to read this one here. It says, to the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, to the members, Islam, there he goes again, Islam. This is the instruction from your noble prophet, from your prophet Noble Jurali, excuse me. He says, be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed. That is the faith. That is the economic standing. That is the race. That you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on. But the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near. So says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone, and many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are the trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet, Mujahideen. Okay. Okay. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace. Your divine prophet, Noble Ali. Let's listen to this one here. Moorish leader attends inauguration of governor. Islam, sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm just not saying that you're on. It says, the Moorish Science Temple of America was represented at the inauguration of Governor Lewis L. Emerson in Springfield, Illinois, Monday, January 14th, by Prophet Noble Ali, and it was a busy day for the distinguished Moorish leader in Springfield, beginning with breakfast aboard one of the special trains of the Illinois Central Railroad, attending the inaugural ceremonies of the State Arsenal building, and ending with interviews with many distinguished citizens from Chicago who greeted him on every hand. The prophet expressed himself as being highly pleased with the trip and the many courtesies extended him by the military and state officials. So Drew Ali was rubbing elbows. You know? He was rubbing elbows. Absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Yes. I want to read this because this is important. This is extremely important. It says to all governors, grand sheikhs, and head officials of the temple. It says during this convention period, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said on the 17th of October that he was going to appoint 7 men tried and true and accepted by you, and on the very next day, Noble Drew Ali stepped forward from the chamber room and declared that he now had his number, and said that the Grand Body had accepted his choice in the setting of the Supreme Grand Council of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali also declared what their duties in conjunction with that of the Grand Body, which consists of all executive rulers, chief rulers, sheikh. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that both are to work hand in hand with each other. And those who act as in the Supreme Council duties were to continue on with each other, and those who act as in the Supreme Council duties were to continue on with the day-to-day functions of this divine movement. While the Grand Body was to intercede that the Prophet Drew Ali was the law, and at the head of this divine movement. Now the Prophet Noble Drew Ali announces that the following adept chamber members would be seated on the Supreme Grand Council. And the names are as follows. 1. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Supreme Head and Supreme Chairman. 2. Brother Edward Mealy Ill, Supreme Grand Sheikh and Grand Governor, Temple Number 1. 3. Brother James Lomax Bey, Supreme Grand Governor and Grand Governor of Temple Number 4. His seat was vacated. Absolutely. 4. Brother Richard Ross Bey of Temple Number 1. 5. Brother Claude Green Bey, Supreme Business Manager, Temple Number 7. Yeah, his seat was vacated too. Okay. Brother Blackwell Bey, Temple Number 1 and 7. Sister Pearl Ali, Supreme Grand Secretary, Temple Number 1. Yeah, see, her seat was vacated too. Anywho, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "Follow me and you will be happy." This is what the man said. The Prophet also announced that a per capita tax had been voted in by the Grand Body and concurred with the Supreme Grand Council during the second sitting of the Supreme Grand Council. Okay. So, I'm going to read this last little bit right here. This is by none other than the Supreme Grand Sheikh, Grand Governor, and Khalif, or presiding officer or prophet's successor, Emil. All right? It says, Islam. See, there goes the greeting again. Not Islamism. Islam. These are critical moments, and all Muslims are required to follow instructions. During the life of our Prophet, he told us many things. But there was many things that he said he couldn't tell, but that we would know after a while. Since he passed, he left his son who will guide you. Now, of course, the Prophet's laws are all right, but there are plenty he couldn't write or put in book form. So someone had to tell you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where we at here? He says, okay. Since he passed, he left his son who will guide you. Now, of course, the prophet's laws are all right, but there are plenty that he couldn't write or put in book form, so someone had to tell you. Now, some are going to believe it and some are not. But now let me say to you, as a brother who loves Israel, please don't. Please, please, please don't. Please don't be the fucking hard head. In the adept last night, we were told not to eat meat, but to eat anything in the fish line with scales on it. So that leaves out catfish and eel. It says to eat fish and vegetables, etc. But no meat of any kind or any strong drinks until further notice. Please don't do any of these things until you hear from the grand body. Peace, your brother in Islam, Emilio, Supreme Grand Chief. I have a question for everybody. What is the name of the first physical man? Adamu. Adamu. Busy right now. I am Adamu, son of Anu. You better know it. Okay, that must be what. Okay. Boom. Come on. There we go. Alrighty. Get this, all of that's up in here, along with the constitutions. Right? Along with the form to fill out, along with your declaration of national allegiance, like your prophet told you to do. Get on board the national citizenship and be redeemed. So in conclusion, this movement has been brought from Egypt to America to remind the descendants of these Egyptians who were inhabiting the Americas more than over 10,000 years before Columbus was born. It was to remind them that they are one of the family, that they are not downtrodden, that they are not this black thing here, that when you read it says a person having origins in any of the black African racial groups. And there is no such thing as an African racial group. And if there were such a thing as African racial group, it'd be right there. It'd be, my bad, y'all. It'd be right there. All right, we'll just use that hand. Right there. All right. Appreciate you all for joining. Please check my feed out. This is going to post on the American Nationals University YouTube channel. Professor Davis Eli, E-L-I. I hope this has been helpful. Let us learn to love instead of hate. Let us learn to unite with our brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith. Let them being Muslim be the only standard that you hold them to, whether you accept them or not. Don't let it be because of their skin tone. Don't come out here running around here with that Elijah Muhammad, fraud Muhammad, and all of that ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine hoopla. Don't run around here with the division, yo. We all here, we all family. All right? I'm your brother. Come to show you the way to Allah. Islam. Peace and love.